Hi everyone, welcome to the Blondes Edit. My name is Hannah Victoria Jens and I'm your host. And thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are going to be talking about the power of a vision board and how it has made an impact in my life. And I'm going to go through how simple it is to make one of these at home. I know that they're so popular. There's workshops that you can go to, and all those fun places. But sometimes there's something really nice about being in your safe haven, your cozy space. Um, for those of you who tuned into our last episode, we made some fabulous cocktails. Here we have the Pink Press, which is a peach martini, and the grapefruit glow, which is a cross between a Paloma and a margarita. So if you're doing this at home, you have your friends over, your family, make some drinks, have some snacks, and really design the life you want. So to get started, I'm gonna go over what you need. I have a poster board that's this size. You can do bigger, and in my opinion, you might want to do bigger, or you might want to do a few of these, and you can get really granular and make this specific to different areas of your life. So, for example, one of these could be your home vision board, what you want your home to look like, or your dream home from a decor standpoint, from flowers, from renovations, from paint colors, things like that. How you want to design your holidays if you're hosting. If you want to move to, let's say, another town or another state, you could put all beautiful inspiration. Um, let's say one of your goals is to write a book. You could put all, if it's, excuse me, say it's a cookbook or a memoir, you could put all different ideas of recipes that you want to include and pictures of things from Pinterest or that you've collected on your phone, or of course magazines, and make that your goal. If you are looking to get more into fitness, you could put all really cute fitness clothes and workout mats and tumblers that you're going to put your water in for when you go to work out, and all those other options that are available to us from fitness studios. Or you could screenshot an app that you're going to log on every day and put that on here. But for those of you who just want to do one, you can just do one. This year when I did mine, it was more tailored to like home and a little bit towards where I want to go business wise. And from my magazine, for those of you who don't know me, I am the editor, publisher, and founder of the Hampton's Edit magazine, which is a luxury East End publication that is distributed from Southampton to Montauk. Here is one of our past issues. That's myself and my handsome husband, Rob. But yeah, without further ado, we'll get into it. You want also some tape? You can do a glue stick. I don't, because I feel that, at least, granted, I haven't been in maybe kindergarten in 30 years almost, but glue sticks dry out. You use regular glue, it can get messy. I don't know. I don't like messes. So this is easy. It's a nice tape. It's pretty, it's clear. Any tape works. And scissors for when you are cutting out what you're going to put on here. Mine are pink, of course. Are you surprised? And then you want to do a wide range of magazines. So here I happen to have subscriptions to these. So Flower, Vogue, Victoria, and Garden and Gun. Here's the thing. I know some people might not have access to print magazines. You can go on Pinterest, and Pinterest is amazing. And there are so many things that you can search and you will find. And I do feel that you can even make a digital vision board. You can go on Canva, just copy and paste some things you love, whether if it's like I said, it could be a car, a fitness goal, a beauty goal, a career goal, whatever you want. It's whatever you want, and that's the beauty. Um, I am very, as you guys know, I'm very in touch with my faith. I'm Catholic. I believe God has a plan for all of us, and we should live life very positive and thankful. Whatever religion you believe in, you know, that God has a plan for you, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And if you really tap into that and the power of your mind, there's so much we can do in our lives to really live the life we're meant to be and the life we want. There's books out there. One of the authors I love is the late Louise Hay, and it really is about how you have power on your life and how it can be beautiful. We were put on this earth to be happy with purpose, and I think we all deserve that. So what I like to do is, it's really simple. You want to open this up and you're going to scroll through, or flip through rather. We're also used to scrolling. And when you see something that really you're drawn to, or you're like, that's really pretty, or oh, that's something I want in my life, you want to rip it out. So I love hydrangeas. I love making flower arrangements. If one of you guys saw my flower arrangement class that I did, the tutorial, one of my episodes, I think this is so pretty. I'm gonna rip it out. Now listen, you can rip it out, and then when you're ready to arrange, you can think, I actually don't want that on there, and that's okay. The point is to really tap into what you want for your inner self and get inspired. If you look down here, I really love this bush. Again, it's another hydrangea. I think this little house is charming. It reminds me of a lot of the historical buildings in East Hampton and Amagansett, things I like to do in the spring. I'm gonna give it a rip. So if you're looking, like for example, you can rip out something where you want to take the word. So this says garden. If you don't have a garden, you're looking to start a garden, rip it out. Right here, although it's a little small, I would look for a little bit of bigger words, but something like this is good for filling in blank space. Reading, hey, say one of your goals is to read more. There you go, reading, rip it out. And then you just kind of, like I said, you go through. I mean, here's a super darling looking cat. Maybe you want to adopt a pet. A cat, a dog. Can you rip this out? Put that on there. I'm blessed to have two beautiful cats. I think these indoor arrangements are darling. I'm going to rip it out. And then you kind of just go through the rest of them as such. Now, obviously, for the purpose of the programming of the show, we are going to condense this. So we are not going to do the full start to finish of what the vision board would look like, but I am giving you the tools that you need, and then you can do this on your leisure as you wish. So again, just sort of going through. I mean, maybe one of your bucket lists is to go to Hollywood. Say you want to go to Hollywood one day? Rip it out. Cut this out, put it on the board. And I am going to make this a little more condensed again, just for the purpose of the show. Usually I really take my time and go through page by page, but I'm not going to do that. Victoria Magazine, fun fact, my middle name is from this magazine. My mom was in the waiting room at her OBGYN. She was pregnant with me, and she loved the name. So I also had an Aunt Victoria. Her name is Aunt Vicky. And I think it's very serendipitous that I was named after a magazine, and now I am an editor and a publisher. So it's funny how life works. And like I said, it's all in your plan. So just gonna flip through. I'm not big on cold weather. And for those of you that live here on Long Island, we've had a brutal winter. Every day is a gift, but it's been cold. Very, very cold. And I've had enough. However, I must say I've always wanted to go somewhere to see beautiful mountains. This is the French Alps. I mean, this is just stunning. Look at this. The Darling ski lift and the snow. The charming little train. It's so incredible. And, you know, we live on Long Island, and I feel like a lot of us that are from Long Island, we like to stay on Long Island, but there's so much out there that we haven't even experienced. And I also think that's a big thing for this, is really kind of seeing beyond and dreaming big and understanding that the world is your oyster and you can design however you want. This says live your bliss. I think that's a really good quote, saying, and it resonates to what we're doing. Okay. I think that these cakes are so pretty, and these ice creams. One of my strengths is cooking. I love to cook. I like to think I'm a good cook. My husband tells me I am. My mom tells me I am. Maybe they say that because they love me, but I don't. I think I am. And that came from years of practice and trying and testing all different recipes. Baking probably isn't one of my strengths, so maybe I would rip this out and try to make one of these beautiful cakes. And the reason why I want you, if you don't do the Pinterest route, which I think is a good way to go, and you want to do the magazine route, you want different ones because you want to be able to have the variety and the flexibility to rip pages out, because from different things and topics. What you're gonna, Victorian flower kind of go hand in hand, because flowers and Victorian magazine are very feminine and romantic and floral heavy, but you know, Vogue, maybe that's more of your fashion. Garden and Gun, I didn't even subscribe to this, but I'm glad they sent this to me. It just started coming to my house, and I love it. It has so many beautiful different things to choose from. They're also really recipe heavy in these magazines, so maybe you want to put a recipe that you've never had, like you've always wanted to try, or you want to get into cooking. Like, this looks like they have so many options. And then when you find something that looks delicious and speaks to you, rip it out. Put it on the board. So let's see here. There's a lot of cocktail recipes. Let's see here. These look like really delicious empanadas. Maybe you want to learn how to make empanadas? Okay, so for the purpose of time, I'm gonna move on to the next step and show you how you get going. So the bigger pictures, I like to think of your anchors. You want to fill those in, maybe in the corner or the center. It gives you a good base for your board. It makes it simple to fill in as needed. I always keep a wastebasket nearby so I can throw away anything I want to throw away or recycle. You can either tape as you go or kind of lay it out and then tape, or glue, so you choose, and I think both work. I think laying it out is good, but sometimes things will slide. My kitties, they're the cutest kitties ever, but they always want to be exactly where I am. So I could be doing this, say I'm on my bed or the tape, and they'll just get all up in here, and sometimes it's not as easy. So if I don't have this taped down, things might move around. So I cut this page out because it says live your bliss. I also think serenity is a nice word to go by, and the reason why I say that is because maybe sometimes we live really stressful lives and we forget to enjoy the slow moments and what life's kind of all about. So maybe you want to be a little more serene and intentional with your energy and your time. So I'm going to cut that out too. Okay. Right. We already kind of have a good base going here. Like I said, if you wanted to design indoor potted plants, these gorgeous plants can be kind of a guide for you. Cutting out that little reading excerpt. I love to read. I don't know about you guys. There's no excuse to say you don't have time. I think you make time for what is important to you. And I think just being really disciplined and diligent, a lot of us, I feel like, give our energy to things that don't serve us, whether that's social media. Maybe there's even friends that you stayed friends with that don't align with where you are in your life. They're really negative or they don't bring you joy anymore. I think we're over committing to events. I feel like a lot of us get guilted into going to a party or an event. And like I said, time is precious. And it's okay to not want to go to a social engagement or just stay home and protect your time and your peace. We all work hard. We all have a million things going on, friends, family, relationship. And I think putting that time for yourself and protecting your peace is important. Okay, so here are some of the things that I cut out as an example, and you're going to want this fall. But just to kind of give you some context. And then you can start taping. Now you kind of have that good base, and believe me, when you go through this plethora of magazines, you're gonna have so much stuff that you're not gonna have room. You're gonna have more inspiration that you won't even know what to do with it. And then you can simply tape it. And sometimes people think, oh, the tape might look messy, but you can always overlap where you put the tape. But this tape is so sheer. It's good office grade tape. And I think you really can't even tell. The words, if they're small enough, you can put a full piece of tape over it. And as previously mentioned, I ripped out the empanadas. And I said, you know, maybe you want to learn how to make empanadas. Maybe you want to try a new cuisine. That's your goal. To broaden your palate, broaden your horizons. Try out a new restaurant every week, every other week, every month. Maybe going to a restaurant that's known for empanadas. It doesn't have to be empanadas. It could be sushi. It could be anything. Whatever your heart desires. So this is not done. But this is how you can kind of get it started and then fill in as you go. Which I think is really fun. Now, when you're done putting this together, you want to treat this very nicely and with respect. And I say that because I think energy is contagious and manifesting is real. And this has energy, and if this is something you really want, you don't want to go home and throw it on the floor, right? That's not going to bring this good positive into you. You don't want to shove it in the closet, put it on your desk, and have it covered with papers. You want to put it somewhere where you're going to see it day in and day out. It could be on a wall. It could be, you could keep it on your desk as long as you keep the rest of the desk area clean. You could tape it to the back of your door where you see it every day. You could tape it to a closet door. It's really up to you. That is kind of the beauty of doing a smaller one. If there's some things that you really, really want, you could even cut this in half and put it on the side of your fridge. If you carry a planner, you could keep, let's say, a page the size of the planner, and every day when you open up your planner and you go to plan your day, you see it, it's a reminder. Because in order for this to happen, you really need to look at it, you need to visualize it. And I know some people might not believe in this, and that's okay. But I do believe there is a correlation to the thoughts you think and being positive and being a kind person. And, you know, you want to be a kind person in general, but I also think like when you put good out, good comes back to you. And obviously you don't want to do that simply so good comes back to you. But there really is something to be said. To give you some context, I'm going to show you one that I made 2 years ago. And when I made this, I was in like a very in-between place in my life. I was at a job I didn't like. I was just so drained and I knew I needed change. So I, one night at home, made this, and a lot of it came true. And I don't have proof of everything on me today, but if you guys follow me on Instagram at the Long Island Blonde, you'll see a lot of this did come true. So first things first, so this was one that I made, and to give you some context here, so right here it says living the dream, and then there's a floral arch. So when I was making this, don't get me wrong, I was happy, but I definitely it was time for a change. This was my first magazine that came out later that year. There's a floral arch, and the title of the article was Dreams Do Come True. So, floral arch, living the dream. So I think that there is a correlation between the two. I kept this one up also because I don't feel like getting rid of anything, because it did bring me a lot of joy. I think sometimes when we're not happy, our cortisol can go up. Not happy if you're not fulfilled or whatever. So I put on some weight a few years ago, and so I put on here lose up to 10 pounds. I'm now about 25. I weigh 25 pounds, maybe a little more than 25 pounds less. And I was always working out. I was always eating healthy, but for whatever reason, I don't know why the weight wasn't coming off. But when I decided it's okay, no more of this job, I'm gonna get a job where I can have a steady income, but also do the things I love to do, the weight came off. I also, in our pool, we got this swan float. And then even in our backyard, like the flag is hanging like that. I did outdoor dinner with hydrangeas. I covered an event where I swear the pool house looked identical. Just so many different things happened that I put on here. And I think it's because looking at it and really trying to form your future and your truth, it happens. We also have these window boxes, this flamingo. I always had taper candles, and it's really funny. I've been channeling into this one a little bit more, but I just got gold holders like this, and I really forgot that they were on there. But again, it goes into your subconscious. Before we wrap up, I just want to show you one I made just last week. And again, it's obvious that I love flowers. We're going to actually redo our garden this summer. So I put all different flowers. I want to meet Martha Stewart in the worst way. I was at an event where she was, but press wasn't allowed to approach her, sadly. But I will meet her. I want to do some ceiling things. But in any event, I thank you guys so much for being here. And I appreciate you tuning in. And if you have any questions, DM me. And I can't wait to see you until next time.
LTV's programming is made possible by the New York State Council on the Arts, with the support of the Office of the Governor and the New York State Legislature.